Every woman's journey is different. Mine was shaped by rejection. Not one rejection, not two, but enough to make a question whether all my hard work would ever be enough. And yet, today, when I look back, I realize those rejections weren't the end of my story, they were the beginning of it. Hi, I am Alkasha Siddiqui. This isn't just a story of how I became an engineer. It's the story of how I learned to believe in myself when life kept telling me to wait. I come from a family of doctors. Naturally, many people assume I would become a doctor too. But my parents never forced me to choose that path. They simply wanted me to do something that I truly love. I would I have always loved creating things. I enjoy taking an idea and turning into something meaningful. For a while I even imagined myself becoming a fashion designer. But life have a different plan. I choose computer engineering instead. Completed my SSC with 85%, then I pursued a diploma in computer engineering with 95.60%. Since I wanted to continue my learning, I went on to complete my bachelor's in engineering. Getting an admission into direct second year engineering wasn't easy. There were only handful of general category seats in almost colleges. Although I didn't get into my dream college, but still I was grateful that I could continue my education in Mumbai. Then came my final year. That's when reality hit me. I reached out to my seniors to understand how placements actually work. That's when I realized something important. My college had given me a strong technical foundation where we were taught programming, projects, and engineering concepts really well. But there were two things that had never been introduced to. That was aptitude preparation and interview preparation. It felt like I have discovered an entirely new syllabus just a few months before my graduation. So I made myself a promise. Instead of worrying about what I don't know, I would learn it. So I started preparing for aptitude every single day. I improved my communication skills. I worked on interview preparation, built projects to strengthen my resume, participated in technical activities, and kept revising my technical concept along with my college academics. Life became hectic. Lectures, assignment, practicals, final year projects, semester examination, and interview preparation. Some days it felt like there was simply weren't enough hours. Then companies started visiting our campus. One interview, two interview, three interview. Every rejection hurts. The hardest part wasn't failing, it was watching people around me getting selected while I kept hearing no. There were my friends who got placed before me. I was generally happy for them, but when I came home, I couldn't stop asking myself what I am doing wrong. I have prepared, I have practiced, I have worked so hard. There were moments when I even questioned whether I was good enough. There were nights when I cried quietly because I don't want my parents to see how much pressure I carried. But every morning I opened my aptitude book again. I solved another set of questions. I practiced again and I prayed. Not because I wanted success overnight, but because I didn't want to lose faith in myself. Then came May 2024. Capgemini's recruitment process was already underway and my resume has been shortlisted. On the day of one of my engineering board exams, I also had my first Capgemini's aptitude round scheduled at 4 p.m. So, after finishing my exam, me and my friends were having lunch in the college cafeteria. I told them that I have to leave. I have my Capgemini aptitude test today. So one of my friend laughed and said, "Capgemini है, मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी है, किधर ही सिलेक्शन होने वाला है, बैठ जा आराम से." I honestly, after facing so many rejection, A part of me thought exactly the same. Maybe this won't work either. Still, I went home, I appeared for the test, and I cleared it. One round became two, two became three, and finally, on 25th May 2024, I have cleared all 5 rounds of Capgemini selection process along with my university examination. A few days later, I guess it was 2nd June 2024, my college placement cell informed me that I have been selected. I was joyful, but I decided not to tell anyone until I received the official confirmation email from the company. And as I remember, it was 14 June, I received an official email from Capgemini that I have been selected. So on that day, my father wasn't at home yet. I waited. Those few hours felt longer than my interviews. When he finally came home, I called both of my parents. Instead of telling them directly, I opened the pictures of Capgemini campus and asked them, "What if I get an opportunity to work here?" And then they smiled and said, "That would be wonderful." I looked at them with tears in my eyes and quietly said them, "I have been selected." I still remember my mother with tears, my father smiling, and that hugs. I don't think I will ever forget this moment. That was the day that I truly felt that every rejection had led me exactly where I meant to be. A few days later, I also received an offer letter from TCS. Suddenly, all those months when I felt like nothing was working finally made sense. I joined Capgemini as an analyst, completed my training, and I had an opportunity to work with Mercedes-Benz USA project. But but if you ask me what I am proud of, it isn't my destination. It was my hard work that allowed me to do for my family. The day I received my first salary, I withdrew it in a cash and then handed over to my parents. Seeing how happy and proud they were made that salary feel more valuable than anything I could ever bought for myself. Once again, there were smiles, there were tears, and there were a quiet silence of pride that words can't really describe. That moment reminds me why I had worked so hard. As time went on, I was able to buy my father a bike, help release my mother's gold from the gold loan, buy my sister a laptop, and even fulfill a dream of my own. For someone who was once spent night wondering if she could ever get a job, being able to support the people who always believe in me is the greatest achievement of all. Today, many people tell my parents we want our children to become like her, like me. And honestly, that's something I never imagined growing up. If there's one message that I like to leave with every woman watching this, is this: your journey doesn't have to look perfect. You don't have to succeed in your first attempt or your fifth. Sometimes you are not being rejected because you are not capable. Sometimes life is simply preparing you for the opportunity that meant for you. Keep learning, keep showing up, keep believing in yourself, even on the days when nobody else can see your progress. Because one day you will look back and you will realize that every rejection, every tear, every prayer was quietly building that your life you are living. And if my journey can inspire even one woman to keep going when life tells her to stop, then sharing my story today was being worth. Thank you so much.